Hello friends, welcome in this video and discuss for the various theories of the organic evolution and some concept related to this chapter. Natural selection. What's natural selection? It is the process by which the better adapted individual with useful variation are selected by nature and leave the greater or more number of progenies. The stabilizing selection, directional selection, and disruptive natural selection, these are the various types of the natural selection. Here, this graph shows the stabilizing selection. Maximum individual population acquired a mean character value, the less variation is observed and which does not lead to the change but tend to remain the phenotypic stability within a population. Therefore, they shows the stabilizing population. This population is adapted to the environment. Directional selection. In this type, more individual acquired value other than the mean character value. Natural selection acts to eliminate one of the extreme of the phenotypic range and favor the other. In this selection, operator for many generations, it result in an evolutionary trend within a population and shifting a peak in one direction. Disruptive natural selection. In this type, more number of individuals acquired peripheral character value at both the end of disruptive curve. Two peaks are formed in this disruptive distribution of traits. This kind of selection is rare. It ensures the effect on the entire gene pool of population considering all mating types or systems. Hardy-Weinberg equilibrium and its principle and law. It states that equilibrium point of gene frequency and genotype frequency remain constant from generation to generation, and it is represented by an equation p square plus 2pq plus q square equal to 1. Here that Punnett square shows how this expression is get formed. Adaptive radiation. The process of evolution which result in transformation of original species to many different variation varieties is called adaptive radiation. Darwin's finches is an example of adaptive radiation. Australian marsupial is an example of adaptive radiation. Here, this diagram shows the Darwin's finches. Now, the evidences related to organic evolution. The paleontological evidence, anatomical evidence, embryological and molecular evidences. Now, first, paleontological evidences. The study of ancient life with the help of fossil is called paleontology. These fossils, they are from the plants and the animals both. They are helps to study the various factors. The types of fossil actual remain. In this type, animal, plant or human body get embedded in permafrost or of the Arctic or alpine snow remain preserved in actual state. The mold shows body parts of animal, plant get decayed but impressions still remain and it become permanent. Cast, they have hardened piece of mineral matter deposited in the activities of molds. Compression, internal structure is absent but a thin carbon film indicate the outline of external features. It is useful in construction of phylogeny, that is the main significance. They are also useful to study the various forms and structure of extinct animal. They provide record of missing link between the two group of organism. The paleontology also helps to study habitat of extinct organisms. Connecting link. These are fossils form transitional or intermediate between the two group of organism. This shows some character of both the group. For example, Simuria. This shows the character of amphibians as well as the reptiles. Archaeopteryx. This shows the characters of the reptiles as well as the birds. Which are the reptilian characters and which are the avian characters? That shows the differences. Reptilian shows long tail, claws, scales on the body, and avian shows feathery exoskeleton. The reptilian character is having a single-headed rib, and in avian forelimbs are modified into wing. In reptilians, jaw with the homodont teeth, here the jaw is modified into beak. Sternum without nail, large rounded cranium. Bones are solid, cranium with large orbit and a single condyle. Hind limbs had four clawed digit. Limb bones are bird-like hind limbs with the four toes. First toe is opposite. Anatomical evidences. It deals with the study of external structure while anatomy deals with the study of internal structure. From comparative study of morphology and anatomy, we can understand the evolutionary aspect in the form of homologous organ, analogous organ and vestigial organs. Homologous organs are those which are structurally similar but functionally different. For example, forelimb of vertebrate, lizard, bird, bat, horse, whale, man. Vertebrate of a brain and heart. In plant, horns of bougainvillea and tendrils of cucurbita. Here, the diagram shows the homologous organs. Analogous organ. Analogous organs are those which are structurally dissimilar but functionally similar. For example, the wings. The wings of the butterfly, birds, they are having a different structure but they are having the same function, that is the flying. Eye of the octopus and mammal, they differ in their retinal position, structure of lens and origin of the different eye part. The flipper of penguin, birds and dolphin, that is the mammal. Sweet potato, root modification and potato stem modification, store, that is the starch. Here this diagram shows the analogous organ. They are looking different structurally but they are having the same function. Vestigial organ are imperfectly developed and non-functional degenerate structure which were functional in some related aspect in animals and plants. The vestigial organ, they do not have a longer required but still they are present. That is the wisdom teeth, nictitating membrane, coccyx tailbone. These are the examples. Here this diagram shows these are the vestigial organs present. They do not have any function but still they are present. Vermiform appendix. It is also a functional in herbivorous mammal for digestion of cellulose. In man, due to eating of cooked food, it has lost its function. Embryological evidences. When a comparative study of the development in different sexually reproducing organisms is made, it is observed that the development pattern during early stage is similar in all organisms, suggesting a common origin. Development in a sexually reproducing organism begins from a single diploid cell stage, that is the fertilized egg or zygote. Zygote undergo cleavage, blastulation and gastrulation. At the end, gastrulation shows three germ layers are formed which give rise to various organs and organ system. The embryos of different vertebrates, that is from fishes to mammal, look alike particularly with reference to gill slits, gill clefts and tail. Here this diagram shows the embryonic development during the early stages of all the animals. That development look like the very similar. Molecular evidences. As we know that the cell is a structural functional basic unit of all the living organism, the similarities in proteins and genetic material performing a similar function among diverse organisms gives evidences of a common ancestry. Basic metabolic activities also occur in a similar manner in all organisms. ATP is the energy source in all living organisms. Speciation. The process of formation of a new species from pre-existing species is called speciation. It is having a intraspecific speciation and interspecific speciation. First, intraspecific in allopatric and sympatric speciation. Formation of new species due to separation of segment of population from the original population by a distant or geographical barrier cutting across the species range. Example, development of mountains. Sympatric speciation, formation of species within a single population without geographical isolation. These formed due to reproductive isolation. Example, cichlid fishes in Lake Victoria. Here this diagram shows allopatric speciation and sympatric speciation. Interspecific speciation, hybridization. Two different species on a crossing may give rise to a new species. Example, mule is a hybrid produced by interbreeding between a male donkey and a female horse. Here, this chart shows the evolutionary line of the earth and the various species which are get formed. That geological time scale, it consists of the eras, periods, time, epoch and plant life as well as the animal life. The first Azoic era, then Archaeozoic era, Proterozoic era, Paleozoic era, Mesozoic era and Cenozoic era. These different eras, they consist of the various quaternary periods and the epochs. During which billion years ago or million years ago, which plant, which animal get originated, they will be survive, they will be dominant on the earth surface. Here, this diagram is also shows the geological time scale and during which geological time scale here which plants animals they will be get dominant on the earth surface. This is about the various theories and evolution. Thank you.